What is going on? I am the Mint, and today I have another Ironsights video. I know that video initially that I posted probably didn't get enough traction just because I wasn't getting good frames. I wasn't getting good FPS. I was playing on 30 FPS, and that's I'm solely blaming the Elgato capture card because I'm using the Microsoft 10 Windows, or the Xbox app capture feature through my Windows 10 on my laptop, and it doesn't drop my frames really at all, or it doesn't drop it significantly enough for it to affect my game in a negative way. Unfortunately, the Elgato HD60 drops the frames down to 30, which is terrible. And I feel like I don't want to blame Elgato, but I guess their device is no longer compatible with PC gaming. I think they're strictly made for console players to capture gameplay from consoles. And I know that some people might say, well, there are people out there that use the HD60 or the Elgato HD60 to capture PC gaming and they don't have issues. Well, maybe that Elgato is not compatible with the game itself. And I don't want to blame the game because somebody else's hardware is just not compatible with a particular game. Maybe the game is too modern for an old shitty device. I don't know. I really don't know the full reason why the frames drop that much. But you'll see in the left corner of the screen in the gameplay, you'll see my FPS and you'll see my ping. My FPS usually fluctuates anywhere between, the high 90s or from the 90s to a little over 100, which is really, really fucking good. There's no complaint there. My ping, I think at high point probably reaches a little over 50, which is not perfect. But I usually stay in the 30s and 40s, but usually 40s. So, that could be potentially a little bit better. But, you're playing with people around the world. This is like, I guess, I don't know, in that sense. So, that's why you might have, worser ping occasionally. But, I mean, not that I'm complaining because it's still pretty decent for what it is. And I'm happy that I can bring gameplay, of the game, on a level of like normal FPS and, where you can actually see me play well, because playing with 30 FPS is just complete garbage. It's so incredibly hard to do well and play well. I started off kind of slow in the game, but then, progressively got better. There's some cool, like little moments that I have, but I'm still learning the game because I'm not used to playing with keyboard and mouse. I'm more so of a console player, but I do appreciate, PC gaming for what it is. It is a little bit more interesting, a lot more funner, and I'm glad that I'm able to kind of transition to that and still have fun and do half decent, but I still need a lot of work to become like really good like I usually do on console. I do pretty damn decent on console, but I thought, I want to get good on PC as well so I can be versatile, so I can bring different gameplay and different games and everything like that. So I wanted to talk about Ironsight. So me spending about 11 hours playing the game, I kind of wanted to right away say what, like, from 0 to 10, what kind of rating I would give the game. And I have to say I would give the game a solid 8 out of 10. There's still, room for improvements, and I've mentioned that nearly about any game that I've reviewed. There's always room for improvements. Obviously, there's been occasional server issues with the game. Some of the minor things that they can fix are obviously like the hit detection. Sometimes I feel like I should have brought that, player down with, my high damage HK417. But I feel like, okay, how is it that I shot him a bunch of times and he managed to melt me really quick? Maybe because they have a higher rate of fire in their weapon and I'm using a semi-auto rifle, but I have so much more damage, and I'm thinking that after 3 to 4 bullets that hits them in the chest, they should drop, right? But I've learned that, if you aim chest and head, you do quite well in this game. So headshots are definitely a thing that you should master in this game, I guess. It's also that much more satisfying. I kind of wanted to talk about some of the features in the game that I didn't really I don't think I really touched much on in my first video, because I kind of rushed that video, which I'm not afraid to admit. I wanted to talk about, they have a Scorestreaks system in some kind of sense. Basically, the way I could describe it is kind of like a blend between Call of Duty's Scorestreaks system, but also like the kind of how Titanfall has, that certain amount of time that you have, that within a certain amount of time you will earn your Titan. But if you do well, if you do play by objective and get kills in the game, that time will speed up a little bit. It's kind of like that. And there's offensive and defensive score streaks. I call them score streaks because that's the best way I can give you a visual aid on how it works. You'll see it in the game. I actually earned, I think, all of them that I had. One of them was called the Firefly, which is basically like a ball that's kind of like a C4, but it floats towards enemies, it's kind of like a drone. So it's really sweet. So it has like that little bit of futuristic vibe, but you're not fucking jumping around the fucking map, 7,000 feet high, or running around like a chicken with your fucking head cut off on walls, like in some of the Call of Duties, Infinite Warfare, or Black Ops 3. Which I like Black Ops 3. I just don't like the movement system. That's one thing. That's why I'm so limited to how much I want to play of Titanfall 2, as an example. Like just too much verticality, too much crazy movements. I like to be more like pace myself, but still rush, but pace myself. So boots on the ground is definitely like my thing. Clearly, based on like what I'm saying. So the next one was from the score streaks. The next one I had was like basically like their version of a Predator drone, almost in a way. It's called a blade drone or something like that. And what it is you have like a launcher. You launch it up to the sky, then you transition to controlling it, and you have a limited window of how long you can move it around. Then obviously you click the normal, what I would say, the trigger button to shoot, and it will fly down. And a lot of times you can get a lot of nice kills with it. You can get nice things in the feed, but it sometimes you fuck up and you won't hit the players. You'll hit something around the player and it won't do any damage. I feel like that maybe the radius of the explosion of that, it's like a rocket basically, should be greater and bigger, so that it could be a little bit more powerful of a score streak or kill streak or whatever you would like to call it. I'm gonna take a sip of water because water is delicious. Nice filtrated water. And then obviously I have like what it is, like the Harrier strike without it hovering and shooting at people. It's more so basically like one jet goes by, drops some bombs, another one flies over, drops a bomb. 3 of them basically fly over and saturate an area. So you can put it really like well on an objective, and like I've gotten some crazy feeds just through that. I think the score streaks or kill streaks that they have in this game are very well made. They're not overpowered, but they're not underpowered. They're just right. I feel like some of them might need a small tweak here and there to become a little bit more powerful, but not too powerful. Like I said, certain things should have their blast radius increased. I haven't really tried much past what they call a Hellbird. I think somebody else on the other team actually gets that towards the end of the gameplay. You'll see that. It's basically kind of like if you were controlling a Harrier strike. It's almost like a chopper gunner, but not as so much as a chopper gunner, because it's, like I said, it's not overpowered, but it's not underpowered. You can do really well with that, but you can also do very bad with it. Because I had kind of like a mixed bag with it, so like I'm saying, it's pretty decently well balanced. Some of the higher up kill streaks I haven't really acquired yet. I'm not that good to get up that high. And unfortunately I didn't play by objective, so I was in the bottom of the thing. So there's a huge initiative in this game for you to play by objective. So if I got the amount of kills I did, but actually played in the objective and stayed in the objective, I probably would have gotten in within the top 3. I was more so going for kills because I'm trying to increase my KD, because I kind of had my moments where I did really bad, because there's some good players out there. And sometimes I have games where I get really destroyed, which I'm willing to be honest and open about. But I have my games where I do quite well, and so unfortunately I didn't play by objective, which is kind of like a no-no. But see, I was in the bottom of the leaderboards basically, or the bottom of the team in the little ceremony circle that they have, or a victory circle, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They have like you'll see at the end. It's pretty funny stuff, like little emotes or whatever. You can earn them or you can buy them. It really depends on how you feel. And then they have kind of like skills. So you have like quick aim and like marathon and so on and so forth. I don't think I really showed that in the actual gameplay, but it's kind of like your standard kind of like almost like Call of Duty perks, but obviously with their own spin and twist on them. They obviously have different names to them. I think it's a good addition. I think they should add more into that. I think they should add more score streaks. Obviously more weapons, maybe more weapon attachments or something like that. And I also wanted to mention they have an awesome leveling system. They have a currency that you earn in the game, which you use that to unlock weapons and weapon skins and so on and so forth. They also have weapons that are timed, as in you have them for a certain amount of days, and then they leave your inventory. And then you have permanent unlocks, which basically permanently unlock certain weapons, or actually all weapons you can permanently unlock. And there's also weapons that you can unlock for a certain amount of time, which is very interesting. I like how they do that. It's pretty cool. Let's see, what else did I wanted to talk about. The leveling system and the in-game currency paired together. You have this thing where you have to repair your weapons. You earn more than you spend on repairs, just as a record, and you don't always have to repair after a game. You can continue playing, but I haven't really tested what happens when you let the weapon just get really malnourished. It might actually be very bad for the weapon or something. I don't know. Or maybe the weapon handling becomes bad. Maybe the weapon jams. I don't know. I think that would be kind of an interesting addition for the game, which would give you the incentive or initiative to actually repair your weapon and pay attention to that. So overall, I really like this game. I hope it grows and becomes bigger and greater. And I really also do hope that maybe eventually they can transition to coming on console. This game, I don't know if it's actually on Steam because I got it through a website. And it's directly their website, and then you have a login, you log in, and it's an open beta. Like I said, it's free to play. Definitely enjoy it. Definitely play the game. It's really awesome. And I just, like I said, I give the game, from 0 to 10, I give the game 8 out of 10. I really think it's a well-made game. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, there's still room for improvements, and I am Demit, and that's really all I gotta say. Hopefully, you enjoyed the commentary. Hopefully, you enjoyed the gameplay. I tried my best to do well so that I can bring some decent gameplay, because I don't always do good in this game. Like I said, mouse and keyboard are not my niche or my thing. I'm more so of a controller person, but I'm trying to get better at the whole keyboard and mouse thing. So anywho, that's all I really gotta say. If you do like the video, definitely hit that like button. I strongly encourage people to leave me comments, give me feedback, let me know what you think, give me some suggestions on future videos if you want to do so. If you have anything that you dislike, definitely hit the dislike button. Then also leave me a comment letting me know what I did wrong or what I can improve on. All feedback is appreciated. Definitely, if you want to see future videos, definitely subscribe. I definitely encourage people to hit that bell so you do get notified every time I do upload, because YouTube does this thing where if you don't hit that bell, you won't get notified that a YouTuber has uploaded a video. You have to go to their actual page to see if they uploaded. So for you to not have that issue, definitely hit that, hit that bell so you get notified when I upload. And I'm the Mint. That's all I gotta say. Peace.